Hi everyone, Mark Lichtenfeld, Chief Income Strategist with the Oxford Club. Welcome to State of the Market. Now, I don't know if you guys have heard, but there's an election coming up in the United States. I mean, I know no one's really talking about it. The presidential candidates have been kind of quiet. There's no emails or texts. Nothing's mentioned about it on social media or anything. You'd hardly know it's coming up. Now, personally, I'll be very glad when this is over, and hopefully that's before the new year. The election has some people worried, including investors. Some are afraid that a victory by one candidate or the other will have very disastrous implications for the stock market, while others believe that the market will go up if their chosen candidate wins, and they want to know what to buy, especially after the sell-off this week. Well, that's what I'm here for. Now, while my crystal ball is in for repairs, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen immediately after the election. Nothing. Now, here's why. Conventional thinking says that if a Democrat is in the White House, that's going to be bad for business and the market. But anyone who's been paying attention over the last several decades knows that that is not necessarily true. From 1952 through June 2020, the market performed more than twice as well under a Democrat as it did under a Republican. 10.6% annually was the average under a Democrat versus 4.8% versus Republican administrations. Stocks also perform best when power in Washington is split, so when the White House is occupied by one party and Congress is controlled by another. And I think that makes total sense because that way the clowns in Washington from both parties can't get their idiotic policies and agendas through. There's total gridlock, and the market loves gridlock. Interestingly, the market performed worse when one party, and it didn't matter which one, was in control of both the White House and Congress. Now, but how about our pro-business president? As he constantly tells us, the market is at record highs. And prior to this week's fall, the market was pretty close to record highs. But Trump has only the sixth best performance in the past 100 years as far as the stock market's concerned. Now, prior to this week's fall, the market was at all-time highs, but as far as stock market performance is concerned, Trump has only the sixth best performance in the past 100 years, and that's behind Roosevelt, Eisenhower, and this may come as a surprise to many, Clinton and Obama. As of this moment, Joe Biden is favored to win, and the market is still hanging in there. Now remember, the market is a forward-looking mechanism, so it's telling us either one of two things. It's telling us that a Joe Biden presidency will not be disastrous for the economy and the market, or it's telling us that Trump will beat the odds and win again. It's hard to say right now what that is telling us, but the market is a forward-looking mechanism. Now, I suspect the market is already expecting some level of indecision lasting for the next few weeks. So unless something really crazy and unexpected happens, and this is 2020, so it's quite possible, but assuming that something crazy and unexpected doesn't happen, and there is some level of indecision, I think that's already baked into the market. Everybody's kind of expecting that we will not have a winner announced Tuesday night or Wednesday morning. Now, as far as individual sectors, regardless of who wins, I think you're going to see an infrastructure bill passed next year, and that's going to be good for companies involved in construction and raw materials. A Biden win probably means clean energy does very well, although those stocks have been white hot for a while, perhaps in anticipation of a Biden win. So I'm not sure if the sector will take off if Biden is declared the winner of the election. You might want to wait and see if the stock comes in on a sell the news reaction. Sell the news reaction is when stocks move higher in anticipation of a news event and then actually sell off when that news event happens. And I think that's something we could see in the clean energy space. Banks and financials also, I think, could outperform during a Biden presidency, as all that spending is certainly going to be inflationary, and that's going to be very positive for the banks and financials. If Trump is reelected, look for heavily regulated industries like insurance to do well as regulations are loosened. I think you'll also see the broker-dealers perform very well as that industry continues to consolidate and markets presumably move higher. Defense contractors also should continue to do well under a Trump presidency. Now, it's easy to try to pinpoint stocks that will be the big winners and losers under each candidate. But remember, things don't usually go exactly according to plan. I am sure that no one picked Zoom to be a 10-bagger last year. And I'm sure when President Trump was elected, nobody thought that the airlines were going to need a bailout in a few years. So here's what to do. No matter who wins, stick to a disciplined plan of investing. Remember, stocks go up over the long term no matter who is sitting in the Oval Office. Hopefully this is going to be all over soon. No more text messages from Amanda asking if she can count on you to blah, blah, blah. No more hateful and deceitful TV ads. And hopefully, the losing candidate will just go away and we can get back to living our lives. And regardless of what happens on Tuesday, long term, the market is going to be just fine. It always has been, and it will for a long time from now. All right, that's it for State of the Market. Please check out my free e-letter, Wealthy Retirement. You can do so by clicking on the link below. It has all kinds of wealth and income building ideas for you. I know you're going to love it, and we'll see you next week, hopefully with the election settled. I'm Mark Lichtenfeld. See you next week.